Choosing the best cat food can be a bit of a nightmare, but in this video I am going to help you rank the best and worst wet cat foods. Now before we start, my name is Sam, I'm a cat nutritionist and an independent one. So unlike other reviews elsewhere, this is going to be independent. Now what are we trying to do? Whenever we feed our cats, what we are trying to do is mimic, is replicate what they would be eating if they were left to their own devices. If you have an outdoor cat, sometimes they'll catch mice, sometimes they'll catch small birds, and they will eat absolutely everything. For example, in this recipe of a commercial cat food, we see chicken with bone, chicken heart, chicken gizzard, liver, salmon oil, psyllium husk, kelp, manganese, etc, etc. The other example, we see beef, beef heart, beef bone, beef liver, beef kidney, psyllium husk, mussels, egg yolk, taurine, cod liver oil, etc, etc. All are clear ingredients. Pretty much everything is a meat ingredient, and those are designed to mimic, to replicate what you would be feeding your cat if they were left to their own devices. So we are trying to get as close as possible to that biologically appropriate food. And with wet food, it's not going to be any different. Now, I do have a few rules for ranking wet food. There is a big pet peeve of mine, and that is that a lot of these companies add sugar or sugar derivatives to our cat's food. And I don't know you, but I refuse to give my cat any dietary sugar. We know that sugar isn't very good for ourselves, let alone for our feline friends. And so if we see a cat food with sugar or sugar derivatives here, we are going to put it in the bin, irrespective of the manufacturer. At the end of the day, as a cat nutritionist, a lot of the problems I see all the time is due to poor diet. A lot of cereals, a lot of wheat gluten, and a lot of sugar or sugar derivatives that over time causes so many problems with our cat. And so if you want to save thousands of dollars in vet bills, what you need to do is pay attention to what you're feeding them. Let's start with Tiny Tiger, and these are the chicken dinner in gravy. Now the ingredients are water, we then have chicken, which is okay, we then have animal liver, and that's quite unspecific. And what we want to do is something called traceability. We want to know where everything is coming from that we give our cats. We have meat byproducts, which again could be anything. It could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be kangaroo, it could be crocodile. Well, maybe not, but you get my point. You don't really know what you're giving the cat. We then have wheat gluten, which isn't biologically appropriate, soy flour, animal plasma, natural flavor, cornstarch, which is a binding agent, guar gum, which is somewhat of a sugar derivative. It then has potassium chloride, which is a salt derivative, and straight salt. So the pros here are chicken is, aside from water, the first ingredient, but then the food isn't very good. We have animal liver, meat byproducts, that's quite unspecific, wheat gluten, that's not really digestible by cats, and then we have guar gum, potassium chloride, and salt. And for that very reason, this one is going to be going in the bin. Let's look at fancy feasts from Purina, and this is the mousse salmon, tuna, chicken, and beef halo of savory gravy. Extremely popular cat food. Let's look at two of the recipes. The first one is the salmon one, and that has chicken broth. It's really interesting. Sometimes you think you are giving your cat something, and in reality, you're giving your cat something else. In a lot of these low quality cat foods, a lot of them will contain chicken. Why? Because chicken tends to be the most common, the cheapest form of meat that there is. So even if the pack says cod, sardines, beef, whatever, the chances are that the food might contain chicken. So if your cat, for example, has any dietary requirements and they are somewhat allergic to chicken, or you trial a single protein food to see if your cat is allergic or reactive to a particular protein, then you will not be able to know what you're giving the cat if you do not look at the ingredients. So chicken broth, chicken, meat byproduct, again, very unspecific, liver, unspecific, salmon, that's good, tapioca starch modified, which is a binding agent, which makes everything a bit more gelatinous, glycine, sodium, tripolyphosphate, natural flavors, minerals. We then have locust bean gum, guar gum, and caramel color. I mean, I don't really know you, but I don't like my cat having anything caramel or caramel color, and for that reason, this is going in the bin. Interestingly, all of the other varieties, the salmon, tuna, beef, and chicken, they all start with chicken broth, chicken, and then liver. So they tend to have the same sort of ingredients. They only change a couple ingredients here and there. So yeah, this is not a very good food. Let's look at Friskies, and these are in gravy, and these are the variety pack. Let's look at the ingredients. We have water, liver, that's quite unspecific, liver, we don't really know where that liver is coming from. We then have chicken, beef, wheat gluten, I don't like wheat gluten in cat food, turkey, fish, cornstarch. So I like liver, I like chicken, I like beef, I like turkey, I like fish, and that's it. The rest, I'm not really a massive fan of. I don't really like natural flavors because that's a bit unspecific. I don't like salt and choline chloride. And let's look at the turkey and cheese dinner in gravy. Anytime I see cheese or bacon or that sort of thing in cat food, I immediately avoid it. Why? Because it's going to be probably way too processed, way too close to home in terms of a fast food. And I don't want to give my cat fast food. I want to give my cat something biologically appropriate. So we have water, meat byproducts, that's quite unspecific, turkey, wheat gluten, chicken, cornstarch modified, soy flour, cheese, artificial and natural flavors. Listen, I don't want to give my cat cheese. This is going in the bin. I'm really sorry. And by the way, if you are trying to feed your cat better, I highly encourage you to get a guide how to feed your cat better. It will help you understand what your cat actually needs and what your cat actually wants from you as a pet parent. You can grab it in the link below. Let's look at Purina Pro Plan urinary tract health. And a lot of these prescription diets tend not to be what they are cracked up to be fair. They are more a marketing thing than anything else. For example, we have meat byproducts, which again is quite unspecific. We have chicken, which I like, wheat gluten, which I don't like, cornstarch modified, which I don't like, soy flour, glycine, natural flavor, potassium chloride, which is a salt derivative, and that's not something I like. And because a lot of these foods contain things that are very unspecific, like meat byproducts, like salt or sugar derivatives, those are foods that I do not rate at all. Now, this doesn't contain straight sugar, but still, this is not a very good food, so I'm giving this one a C. Let's look at Purina Pro Plan Focus Adult Weight Management Ground Turkey and Rice. Now, once again, our cats are obligate carnivores. They cannot digest starches very well. And so whenever I see rice in cat food, I am instantly suspicious about the whole thing. So we have turkey, liver, wheat gluten, meat byproducts, soy flour, soy protein concentrate, glycine, rice, etc, etc. We then have guar gum, which once again is a sugar derivative, locust bean gum, xanthan gum, salt, and some vitamins. Now, because of the added salt and the added sugar or sugar derivatives, I am going to give this weight management the lowest possible rating. So this, once again, is going in the bin. If you deviate from what your cat needs, if you deviate from what they are biologically designed to have, then what do you expect is going to happen to your feline friend? They're going to get sick. They are going to incur in a lot more health issues. They are going to have more hairballs. Their coat is not going to look as shiny. Their teeth health is not going to be good enough. Everything is not going to be ticking the way it should tick because of the diet. If you think about it and you have an indoor cat, you are 100% in charge of that cat's health. And if you give them something that they cannot biologically break down, then it's a bit like giving meat to a horse or like giving meat to a rabbit. You need to feed animals in a biologically appropriate manner. And sugar derivatives, rice, wheat gluten is not the way to go. A fun fact about cats is that whenever me and you eat rice or pizza or whatever, we can start breaking it down in the mouth because we have this thing called amylase, which is an enzyme that breaks down starches, and it helps us digest those starches. Cats do not have it, and because they don't have it, the more cereals, the more starches, the more carbohydrates you feed your cat, the more tartar is going to accumulate in the cat's mouth, the more starch undigested is going to pass through the digester, and the more potential drawbacks your cat is going to have in the long term. So if you want to have a healthy cat, you should try to feed them as they would if they were left to their own devices. And that is mice, and that is birds, and that is a biologically appropriate diet. Let's carry on. Sheba, very popular cat food here in the UK. Most people buy it in supermarkets, and this is one that here in the UK contains sugar and meat and animal derivatives, and I would give it a bin rating. But let's see. In the US, we have whitefish, we have poultry byproducts, which is quite unspecific. We don't really know what bird we're giving the cat. We have animal plasma, which again is quite unspecific, tapioca starch, dried egg product. Fun fact, eggs are one of the most nutritious things you can give your cat. I give my cat quail eggs. I give them raw to him, and he absolutely loves them. How often? 2 or 3 times a week. You can add any egg you want to your cat. It's added moisture, it's added protein. The quality of the protein of eggs, if you think about it, an egg has absolutely everything you need to harness life, and that's so incredibly beneficial for our cats. So if, let's say, you can only afford one of these foods, then no problem at all, but adding some eggs will absolutely skyrocket your cat's health in terms of protein quality, absorbability, nutrients, vitamins. It's literally unmatched. So I do like to include eggs in my cat's diet. Glycine, potassium chloride, fish oil, natural flavor. We then have xanthan gum, salt, guar gum. This is going in the bin. And this is not to throw shade to a lot of these foods. It's because cats tend to be fussy, and cats tend to be fussy because they go outside, they eat something biologically appropriate, they eat a mouse or whatever, and then they come in, and a lot of the things you are presenting them with aren't biologically appropriate. So for the cat to eat, these manufacturers have to put in salt and sugar to make the food more palatable, which I understand from selling cat food perspective, but I don't understand it from the health perspective. And I would never feed my cat any rice or any sugar or sugar derivative, and as a result my cat is very, very healthy. So that's my 2 cents there. Royal Canin, and this is the digestive care. Pork byproducts, we have chicken liver, which is good, is specific, salmon, which is specific, wheat flour, which I don't like, pork plasma, modified cornstarch, powdered cellulose, glycine, gelatin. Interesting, gelatin into a cat food. That's not very biologically appropriate, is it? Wheat gluten is not very biologically appropriate, is it? We then have vegetable oil, potassium chloride, which once again is a salt derivative. We have rice flour, we have taurine, which is something cats absolutely need. Listen, this is not going in the bin, but this is not a very good food. It's not a very good food at all. I mean, modified cornstarch, that's something you would see in McDonald's burgers. This is not something you want in cat food, unless you want to feed your cat McDonald's burgers. But this is not a very good food in my opinion. It's not going in the bin, but it's getting a C. Let's look at Royal Canin feline care, nutrition, weight care. And a lot of these, once again, are pretty similar. We have pork byproduct, we have chicken liver, pork liver, wheat gluten, gelatin. I mean, this is very similar to the previous one we have just reviewed, and it's a different recipe. So are these the same ingredients with just a different label on the front? Which goes to show that a lot of these manufacturers are just interested in marketing. They don't really want to help our cats with whatever dietary requirement they have. I mean, once again, we have guar gum, we have rice flour, we have potassium chloride, and we have wheat gluten. Yes, this is getting a C. Let's look at Blue Buffalo, and this is the chicken high protein grain-free, a grain-free recipe. I love it. We have chicken broth, chicken liver, great. Potatoes, okay. Natural flavor, guar gum, flaxseed, carrageenan, cassia gum, potassium chloride, taurine, salt, amino acid, chelate. I mean, we have a set of ingredients that I do like and a set of ingredients that I do not like. I like chicken, I like chicken broth, I like chicken liver, I like taurine, which is an essential thing that cats absolutely need. I don't like the natural flavor, I don't like the guar gum, I am not a fan of carrageenan, and I am not a fan of potassium chloride, and for that reason, this is getting a C. Let's look at American Journey. We have chicken, chicken broth, turkey broth, great. Chicken liver, great. Dried egg product, natural flavor, chicken heart, okay. Ground dried peas, guar gum, salt, flaxseed meal, calcium carbonate, sodium phosphate, taurine, etc, etc. Listen, I love the fact that it has chicken, chicken broth, turkey broth, chicken liver, dried egg product, and somewhat chicken heart. I don't like guar gum and I don't like salt, and for that reason, this is going to get a B. Perfect weight vegetable and chicken liver and chicken variety pack. The ingredient information, this is chicken broth, pork liver, carrots, chicken, spinach, wheat gluten, rice starch, powdered cellulose, rice, flaxseed, chicken liver flavor, coconut oil, potassium alginate. We then have guar gum again, we have salt. I mean, this is a bit of a concoction, isn't it? We have chicken, pork, we have chicken and pork, which are two of the most common allergens in cat food for a perfect weight adult cat food. Maybe not the best sources of protein. Pork can be quite fattening as well, so the dietary fat is going to contribute to the cat's net weight gain. Apart from the wheat gluten and rice starch, which are then going to accumulate in your cat's body. So yeah, not a fan of this food at all. These will probably get a C. Let's look at kidney care, and this is really interesting because nephrology in veterinary care, nephrology being the study of the kidneys, has really taken a back step with regards to human nephrology, and a lot of the literature and a lot of the meta-analyses that have now been conducted in medical science show that protein does not harm a healthy kidney, and actually it can protect a kidney even if it has chronic kidney disease. And so a lot of the narrative from veterinarians is that you should reduce the amount of protein if your cat has kidney issues. But actually, that might not be true, because as we all know, protein is extremely important for muscle protein synthesis, for a healthy coat, fewer hairballs, that sort of thing. So if your cat has some sort of kidney disease, I highly encourage you to look at the literature and to find someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to nephrology, because a lot of these foods aren't actually very good at all. Even if they say kidney care, I wouldn't give them to my cat. But anyway, we have pork liver, which again is quite fattening, chicken, egg product, which is great, brewer's rice and sugar. So imagine going to the doctor, imagine going to your GP, imagine sitting down and you having some sort of kidney disease or some sort of cancer, some sort of digestive issue, you have pancreatitis, you have diabetes, you have any of these conditions, and for the doctor to say to you, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, you need sugar with every meal you consume, which is what your vet would be prescribing or recommending with this particular food. So if you think that by giving your cat sugar, your cat's kidneys are going to get better, you are out of your mind, and your veterinarian is out of their mind. And so this is not a food that I would recommend anyone take, let alone a cat with kidney disease. You can fight me on this, you can say whatever you want, but sugar is not something that should be in cat food. It's not biologically appropriate and is not there for any other reason than for commercial purposes, to put money from your pocket into their pockets, and that's it. It's not for the benefit of the animal. And for that reason, this is going in the bin. And it could even go lower than the bin. I don't know. This, in my opinion, is a no-go. So interesting, because a lot of these pet foods, they will say that, oh, this food has been tested, this food is recommended by veterinarians. I only respect my veterinarian's advice because they have gone to vet school, blah, blah, blah. Listen, a lot of the literature that gets written about pet food has been written and paid for and sponsored by Royal Canin, by Purina, and by Hills. And as you can see on screen right now, a lot of the literature gets referenced from the very articles they sponsor. So if I sponsor studies, if I sponsor a specific way of thinking, well, of course, that's going to align with my values. So no, if your food has been tested by vets or recommended by vets, that just means that has been recommended by vets. It doesn't mean that is a good food by any means. But once again, you can do whatever you want with your cat. Let's look at Tiki Cat After Dark. We have chicken broth, quail egg. Yay, quail egg. I love quail eggs. I love giving my cat quail egg. Chicken liver, chicken gizzard, chicken heart, tricalcium phosphate, potassium chloride, salt, taurine. So here, tuna oil, I like it. I really, really like it. What I don't like is the salt and I don't like the salt and I don't like the potassium chloride, but I love the chicken and quail egg. I like chicken broth, I like quail egg, I like chicken liver, and I like chicken gizzard and heart. And for that reason, this is getting a B. Let's look at Akana lamb and lamb liver in bone broth. We have lamb liver, those are great. Beef bone broth, chicken bone broth, lamb kidney, chicken liver, pumpkin for digestive aid. Okay, not ideal, but why not? Bean gum, taurine, sunflower oil, salt, vitamins. I mean, this is a phenomenal food. Lamb liver, beef bone broth, chicken bone broth, lamb kidney. This sounds a lot like a mouse. This sounds a lot like a small mammal if our cats were going to eat them. Now, I don't like the salt, and that's something we are going to probably have to live with. But this food probably deserves an A. Let's look at Weruva, paw licking chicken. We have chicken, boneless, skinless breast. That's really good. Chicken broth. Yeah, potato starch, okay, not the best. Calcium lactate, xanthan gum, tricalcium phosphate, choline chloride. I don't like xanthan gum. I don't like xanthan gum by any means, but I do like the chicken broth, the potato starch. So yes, this is going to get a B. Let's look at Applause. Limited ingredient variety pack. And this is something interesting because a lot of these companies have started to realize that people look at ingredients. Nutritionists look at ingredients. If your kid has an allergy, you will look at ingredients. And everyone who knows what they're looking at, they look at ingredients. Yes, nutrients are important. Nutrients are extremely important. However, ingredients turn into nutrients, not the other way around. I can give you all the nutrients you want, but they can be just artificially induced or artificially pre-made or artificially included. Ingredients is arguably everything you should care about. Applause. Chicken breast, chicken broth, rice flour, tuna fillet, fish broth, and rice. And that is it. So we have a very high crude protein amount, and we have rice and rice flour and rice, which I do not like. I don't like a lot of these starches. However, with such a limited amount of ingredients, this has to get an A because traceability is one of the things we are always on the hunt for. So A is pretty good. This is a pretty good food. Let's look at natural balance. We have duck and green pea recipe. We have duck water, we have duck liver, canola oil, we have peas, tapioca starch, pea protein, pea flour. So pea protein is not a protein I like in cat food. I like protein to come from animals like lamb protein, chicken protein, etc, etc. Not pea protein. We then have guar and salt, and for that reason this is getting a C. Let's look at Zeal. This is New Zealand chicken recipe, high protein, grain free. We have chicken, water, chicken liver, New Zealand green lipid mussel. The benefits of green lipid mussel are absolutely incredible for dogs and cats. We have salmon oil, peas, dry yeast, egg yolk. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We have kelp. We have potassium chloride, which I'm not a massive fan of. We have taurine. We have iron. We have an amino acid complex. This is a very good food. Once again, it's high in protein, it's very low in carbohydrates for what I see, and this is deservedly getting an A. I mean, arguably, if you want to feed your cat better, what you should do is get a cat feeding guide, which is going to sit at the top and is going to get the crown. And I mean, what a guide. You will literally be a black belt in nutrition and understanding what cats need if you get it. It will be an absolute eye-opener. Let's look at Temptations Dreamies in the UK. Dreamies in the UK are absolutely garbage and not something I would give my cat. We have chicken, we have water, poultry byproducts, we have wheat flour, we have guar gum, tapioca starch, salt. Once again, a lot of these ingredients aren't very good at all. For that reason, this is getting a C. Meow Mix, tender favorites, poultry and beef. Let's look at some of the ingredients here. We have fish broth, tuna, chicken liver, wheat gluten, modified tapioca starch, sugar. And I don't wanna look any further. If a cat food contains sugar, that means it's going in the bin, and we don't want to give it to our cat. Rachel Ray, perfect entrails. Oh, this looks good, no? Let's look at the ingredients. Sensational Florentine with wild caught salmon and veggies in creamy sauce. I would have that. Fish broth, salmon, mackerel, sardine, carrots, decalcium phosphate, sodium caseinate, xanthan gum, potassium chloride, salt, spinach, proteinate, iron proteinate, chicken broth, chicken pumpkin. This is probably getting a C as well. Let's look at 9 Lives. Meaty pate, seafood platter, wet cat food. This looks absolutely rubbish. I don't know. Let's look at the ingredients. We have meat byproducts, and if that's the first ingredient, we are probably doomed. We have fish, chicken, poultry byproducts, brewer's rice, salt, potassium chloride, calcium carbonate, guar gum, dried whey product. Okay, this is getting a C. This is not a very good food at all. Let's look at wellness. Salmon, tuna, and chicken recipes, wet cat food. We have as ingredients fish broth, which is great, chicken, which is great. We have chicken liver, which is great, natural flavor, which is very unspecific. We have tuna, dried egg product, chicken hearts, carrot, dried ground peas, guar gum, which once again is a sugar derivative, salt, calcium carbonate. You know what I'm gonna say. This is getting a C. Let's look at Nulo. What a cute cat. I mean, phenomenally cute cat. We have chicken broth, lamb broth, chicken liver, chicken heart, coconut oil. This is a pretty good food, no? Guar gum, not a fan. Potassium chloride, not a fan. Taurine, okay. So this is probably going to get a B. We have a pretty good set of ingredients, but we do have guar gum and we do have potassium chloride, which aren't foods we like to see, which aren't ingredients we like to see. And for that reason, this is getting a C. Let's look at Opti-Meals. Anytime I see anything in gravy, I'm highly suspicious because I'm not a fan of how manufacturers create the gravy, whether that's caramel color, whether that's tapioca starch, whatever the case might be. We have chicken broth, deboned chicken, pork liver, beef, turkey, pork lungs, phenomenal. Pea fiber, tapioca starch, potassium chloride, manganese, sulfate, natural flavor. Oh, this is getting an A. This is a good food, no? I don't like pea fiber, I don't like tapioca starch, and I don't like natural flavor, and I do not like potassium chloride. But there's a lot to like about this. There's a lot to like in terms of deboned chicken, chicken broth, pork liver, beef, turkey, pork lungs, animal plasma. Okay, not very specific, but this is a pretty good food, I would say. Not bad at all. I like it, you know. It's made without gluten, made without carrageenan, wheat, soy, and artificial flavors or colors. Artificial, grain-free. The recipe is grain-free and non-GMO. Yeah, I like it. This is getting an A. Yeah, this is one of the better ones. Let's look at IAMS, one of the OGs in terms of cat food. These are the perfect portions. We have water, chicken, tuna, chicken liver, meat byproducts, tapioca starch, chicken broth, dried egg product, xanthan gum, natural flavor, salt. You know what happens when you start looking at salt and xanthan gum and that sort of thing. This is getting a C. Let's go to BFF Rainbow Agogo. I mean, look at this packaging. It's absolutely adorable. Let's look at the ingredients, which is far more important. We have tuna broth, tuna, chicken, tapioca starch, guar gum, calcium sulfate, potassium chloride, salt, So we have okay ingredients in terms of chicken and tuna and tuna broth, but I don't like the potassium chloride and I don't like the salt and the guar gum. So this is getting a C. Let's look at like Avengers. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm really sorry if I can't pronounce things. The ingredients are chicken broth, chicken liver, butternut squash. I like it. Tomato paste, okay. Guar gum, I don't like. Potassium chloride, I don't like. Brewer's dried yeast. So this is not something I would regard highly in terms of cat food, but this is not something that's absolutely rubbish. So for that reason, I am probably gonna give it a B. Made by Nacho. We have flake tuna and sardine recipe. Let's look at the ingredients. Tuna broth, chicken bone broth, pumpkin, tapioca starch, sardine, sunflower oil, tuna bone powder, natural flavor, dried spinach, vitamins. This is a very good food, no? What do we see? Do we see anything bad? Yeah, we do see salt. We see potassium chloride. We don't like potassium chloride. We don't like added salt, but we don't see any sugar or sugar derivatives. Do we? We don't. I don't think. Dandelion powder. That's pretty cool. Magnesium, taurine. This is one of the better ones. I would probably, yeah, we're going to give it a B because it contains added salt. That's the only reason. Let's look at Birdie and Louie. Tuna and olives flavor. That's interesting. That's different. We have tuna, vegetable broth, olives, potato starch, tricalcium phosphate, calcium carbonate, potassium chloride, taurine, etc., etc. This is probably going to get an A. Very, very high in protein, very low in carbohydrate, limited amount of ingredients, healthy source of protein with omega-3 fatty acids and amino acids to help support your feline friends' muscles, and it's certified dolphin safe. Yeah, this is an A, isn't it? This is a really good food. I like it. With olives. Yeah, this is tuna and olives. I mean, this could be a winner. Snappy Tomlights. Tuna with crab meat. Tuna, crab meat. Crab surimi. Modified tapioca starch to bind everything together. Gum, taurine, caramel color. Oh, this was so good. He had tuna, crab meat, crab surimi, and all of a sudden we see gum and we see caramel color. For that reason, this is gonna get a C. If you remove caramel color and you remove the gum, these would get the crown. These would actually get the crown. Let's look at Stella and Chewy. We have chicken broth, turkey broth, pumpkin, beef, sunflower oil, tapioca, salt, guar gum, etc., etc. This is getting a C. I don't like guar gum and salt. Do you? Let's look at the Petite Cuisine variety pack grain free. We have chicken broth, chicken, pumpkin, tapioca starch, egg white, which is great, cranberry, guar gum, potassium chloride, salt, taurine, magnesium. This is a C. This is getting a C. Catted. Chicken with liver and sweet potato. Sweet potato in a cat food. Okay. Chicken broth, water, chicken liver, sweet potato, potato starch, eggs, natural flavors, guar gum, xanthan gum, potassium chloride. Do we like xanthan gum, potassium chloride? We like salt. We don't like salt. For that reason, this is getting a C. Let's look at Fussy Cat Premium Tuna and Chicken Formula in Asping grain-free wet cat food. What are the ingredients? We have chicken meat, we have calcium carbonate, locust bean gall, carrageenan, guar gum, potassium chloride. This is getting a C. Let's look at Liberty, Bixby Liberty chicken, water, modified tapioca starch, whole egg powder. Egg powder, why not include the egg instead of the egg powder? Minerals, potassium chloride, zinc, manganese, copper. We have sodium. So we have a very limited amount of ingredients here, but they do include salt, and I don't like salt, and by now you know that I don't like salt. For that reason, this is getting a C. Let's look at Dave's pet food. This is the shredded chicken and beef dinner in gravy. We have chicken broth, pumpkin, beef, tapioca starch, sunflower oil, powdered cellulose, potato fiber, manganese, etc., etc. We see salt, we see potassium chloride, and we see a big fat C. Freely rabbit recipe. My cat loves rabbit. We have deboned rabbit, phenomenal. We have water, we have rabbit liver, great. Peas, natural flavors. We have guar gum, we have salmon oil, we have potassium chloride, we have salt, we have vitamins. This is going to be a B. This is not terrible because it includes rabbit, and rabbit is quite expensive in the grand scheme of things. Let's look at Almo Nature, and we have tuna recipe with ocean fish. We have tuna, we have fish broth, we have ocean fish, we have pumpkin, tapioca starch, guar gum, we have taurine, vitamins, etc, etc. I can't see anything too abrasive here, so I'm probably going to give this a B. The crude protein is quite high, and I do like it. The moisture is obviously very high, and that's what our cats need. They need moisture. Then let's look at Pamper like Paris. Look at Paris. She is looking fabulous there, ain't she? Now, let's look at the ingredients, which is what we are here for. We have fish broth, tuna, tapioca starch, we have xanthan gum, we have manganese sulfate, we have copper sulfate. This is not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, this is probably going to get a C. This is better than Royal Canin. This is better than Hills. This is better than Purina. So if you want to support Paris and move away from Hills or Purina or Royal Canin, this is probably one of the better ones to do. Zealandia. This is a very niche product. This is a product we also have in the UK, and it's really interesting. Zealandia. Now, the ingredient information, we have lamb, we have water, lamb liver, lamb lung, lamb green tripe, lamb heart, lamb kidney, New Zealand green mussels, lamb plasma, dry yeast, calcium carbonate, salmon oil, guar gum. We have all the good things, you know. I mean, I don't like guar gum, but this probably deserves the crown, you know. Let's look at the ingredients again. This recipe is made with 95% grass-fed lamb from a nutritious and delicious meal. Each serving contains high-quality ingredients such as lamb organs and New Zealand green mussels. Feel good knowing this pate is made without grains, added flavorings, preservatives, carrageenan, and BPAs. Lamb, water sufficient for processing, lamb liver, lamb lung, lamb green tripe, lamb heart, lamb kidney, New Zealand green mussels. I mean, the ingredients here are absolutely impressive. They are so good. They are so good. Ingredients is all that matters. Ingredients is really what you should be looking out for. Like, screw this. Nutrients is all you need to look for. I mean, look at these ingredients. Lamb kidney, New Zealand green mussels, lamb green tribe. This is getting the crown. It's my program, and if you disagree, you can comment below. Nala from the Lion King. Let's look at water, tuna, tapioca starch, natural flavor. This is getting a C. This is not even the same thing. Michu. Rainbow mouse chicken with purple cabbage. Purple cabbage, that's interesting, isn't it? Water, chicken, soy protein isolate, spinach, thickening agent, salmon, yeast extract, fructooligosaccharides, which is a sugar derivative, is non-digestible. And we then have coloring agent, which is turmeric powder. This is a very interesting food, and it's a bit of an experiment, isn't it? Soy protein isolate. So the protein they are deciding to use here is soy protein isolate, which is okay. It's a very absorbable source of protein. It's arguably one of the better ones. And if you are into fitness and you take soy protein isolate, you will see that it's pretty good quality protein. Now, I don't really like it in cat food because I prefer the protein to come from animal sources alongside the actual meat. That's why this is not a bad food, but it's a bit of an experiment, and for that reason I'm going to give it a B. I'd be tempted to give it an A, but I'm going to give it a B because in my opinion this is a bit of an experiment. Let's look at FirstMate. Salmon and rice. Boneless chicken. Boneless, skinless salmon. Rice minerals. Salt, calcium carbonate. Potassium chloride. Low glycemic, grain-friendly formula is free from peas, potatoes, and other filler grains. So we have salmon, we have water, and we have rice. And that's it really. So we have a very limited amount of ingredients here. And for that reason, we are going to give it an A. This is a pretty good food. I like it. There's a couple things that I don't like, but this is one of the better ones, you know. Scoochie Pet Chef. We have fish byproducts, we have wheat flour, we have iron sulfate, we have manganese sulfate, but we have fish byproducts and wheat flour. So yeah, this is getting a C. This is not a very good food at all. We have fish byproducts. I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure. They don't tell you. They don't want you to know. They reserve the right to change the recipe from batch to batch to batch. And that's not something. Cassix. Cage-free chicken formula. I like the packaging. Boneless chicken, pea starch, sodium chloride, calcium carbonate, potassium chloride, etc., etc. This is getting a B. This is not too bad. It's not great. Origin, chicken and tuna entree. We have the first 9 ingredients are all animal ingredients, including chicken and tuna. This recipe contains 95% animal ingredients to support muscle development. This wet food supports brain development thanks to naturally occurring EPAs and EHAs, which are essential for the brain. Listen to this. Chicken, tuna, chicken broth, fish broth, turkey broth, egg, dried egg white, chicken liver, salmon oil, sunflower oil, natural flavor, not very good, taurine, okay, organic guar gum, potassium chloride, tricalcium phosphate. Listen, this is a phenomenal food. This is a great food. It's not going to get the crown because it's got added salt, which I don't like. But having said that, this is a phenomenal food. And this is one of the companies that was acquired by the folks at Royal Canin. And I would be so happy if veterinarians recommended this instead of bloody Royal Canin, because this is such a much better food for cats. It's not even close. If you compare the ingredients in Royal Canin and the ingredients for this food, they don't even compare. They are on complete different stratospheres, complete different leagues. So this is much better than Royal Canin. So yeah, this is an A tier. Purina N and D. We have sea bass, sardine, cod, sweet potatoes, shrimp, herring oil, fructooligosaccharides, which is a non-indigestible sugar carbohydrate, calcium carbonate, potassium chloride. This is a very good food, you know. We have sea bass, sardine, cod, sweet potatoes, shrimp, herring oil. This is not going to get the crown because that's reserved for the S tiers, but this is an A. This is a really good food. Let's look at Halo. Chicken, chicken broth, chicken liver, shrimp, crab, carrots, peas, celery, green beans, sweet potatoes, guar gum, shantan gum, potassium chloride. This is a B. This is a food that deserves a B. We have Hound Gatos. This is a 98% game bird poultry formula. Interesting. We have turkey, duck broth, turkey liver, guinea fowl. We have quail, calcium carbonate. We have salt. We have iron. We have proteinate, manganese proteinate. This is a really interesting food. I don't like the added salt and I don't like the added potassium chloride. For that reason, it's going to get a B. Otherwise, this would be a tier A candidate. Let's look at Ziwi Peak. This is once again another pretty niche product, or was a very niche product starting a few years ago. We have chicken liver, chicken heart, chickpeas, New Zealand green lippet mussel, we have chicken bone, we have minerals, we have dried kelp, we have added salt, which I don't like, but the set of ingredients is pretty good. And this is a bit of a disappointment really with the added salt, which is something I don't really like, but the ingredients tend to be pretty good. Chicken and chicken liver and chicken heart and New Zealand green mussel, chicken with bone, that's pretty good. So I'm going to give it a B. Let's look at Organomics. Beef and pork dinner. We have organic carrots, organic peas, organic sweet potatoes, liver, organic guar gum, organic egg, organic coconut oil. We have a pretty good set of ingredients. I cannot see any sugar, any salt. We cannot see anything that's too abrasive to the eyes, and for that reason I think this is going to get an A. Made in the USA with 0 grains or gluten for sensitive sidekicks. A high protein balanced diet for cats that helps promote weight control. The moisture in this wet food helps promote healthy skin and a lustrous coat. Good for hairballs and digestive health. Yeah, high protein meat is good for everything. Let's look at the honest kitchen. We have beef and chicken pate. We have beef, chicken, beef broth, pumpkin, carrots, blueberries, cranberries, natural chicken flavor. We have dandelion greens. We have magnesium proteinate, choline chloride. We have a couple things that I really do like about this food. For that reason, this is going to get an A. I don't see anything too abrasive here. I see things like kelp, which can be beneficial to your cat, made from finely ground whole muscle and organ meats from ranch raised beef and cage-free chicken in a savory bone broth gravy to stimulate your kitty's carnivorous appetite. Yeah, this is getting an A. This is phenomenal. I really like it. Created by the vet nutritionist, whatever that means, because we are all nutritionists at the end of the day, and if you do agree or you disagree, it's up to you really. If a veterinary prescription diet contains sugar for kidney disease or metabolic disease or whatever, and they contain sugar, and that's prescribed and designed by vets, by maybe hundreds of vets, by the most renowned companies in the world, well, any opinion goes really, any nutritionist goes, because sugar isn't the best, we know this. Whenever we are choosing a cat food, what we need to do is think, is this biologically appropriate? Is this aimed to mimic? Is this going to replicate what my cat would eat in the wild if they were left to their own devices? If you look at a mouse, if you look at a small mammal that your cat or my cat would eat, they would eat absolutely everything. They would eat the eyes, the lung, the spleen, the tail, the eyes, the brain, etc, etc. And so what you need to do is try to look at ingredients that might replicate what your cat would naturally eat. And if you start seeing chemical concoctions from a lot of these companies, that's going to be too far left in terms of what your cat's biology truly desires and needs. And so whenever you see your Royal Canins, your Hills, your Purinas, add things to the food that aren't biologically appropriate, that aren't designed for your cat to eat, that aren't very good for your cat, you do have to wonder, is this good or do I need to rethink my cat's food? In my opinion, and as a generic rule of thumb, you want to stay away from salt and salt derivatives, you want to stay away from sugar and sugar derivatives, you want to stay away from wheat, barley, corn, soy, things like meat and animal derivatives or meat and animal byproducts. You should stay away from things like natural flavors, and you should stay away from things that are extremely unspecific, because the more specific, the more traceable a pet food is, the more we will be able to associate our cat's health with what we are giving them. If we give them something highly unspecific, we will not know what we are giving them. Plus, the manufacturer will reserve the right to change the food or the recipe from batch to batch to batch to batch, and that's no good for anyone. It's not good for you, it's not good for your cat, and that's all that matters really. All that matters is our cat's health. As I say, one of the best resources you can get that will absolutely open your eyes is our guide on how to feed your cat for optimum health. It's a fantastic resource, and this is something that I didn't really understand until I started doing research myself. Cat food worldwide is, generally speaking, an absolute crap show, and it's not very good at all. It's full of things that are pretty bad for our cats. It's full of things that aren't designed to be digested. It's made of things that make our cat's stools really sloppy and really smelly, for example. A lot of our cats are developing allergies, gastrointestinal issues, hairballs, etc, and that's because we, as a generic rule of thumb, do not spend enough on our cat's health and wellness and well-being. And if we did, we would absolutely increase the chances of having much healthier cats. And at the end of the day, anytime I speak to any clients at all, all they want, all we ever want is a healthy cat, is a happy cat, is a cat that will last for as long as possible. I love my cat, I'm sure you love your cat, and if you want to keep your cat for a lot longer, what you need is to download our guide, How to Feed Your Cat for Optimum Health.